with Brown, with the drafts, with the draft picks and everything. This is now an 11, or I'll just say an expected to be an 11 or 12 win team. And I wrote this in Bleeding Green Nation a couple of weeks ago after the first day of the draft. Did the Eagles tonight win the NFC East? And I'm going to stick my little stubby bald head out there and say I think they're the team to beat the NFC East.
Really?
With these additions. Now, a lot of things are going to be very dependent, obviously, on Jalen Hurts. But what the pieces they have around him, you can't turn around and certainly make any excuses for Jalen Hurts right now.
As per our picture on the screen here, I'm assuming Joe Santoliquito is ready to join us audio only today. Are you there, Joe?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
There we go. And the little guy is talking just like Joe. How are you, Joe?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry about this. I mean, the problem is me, not my computer system, and the problem is the very many cobwebs in my head. But I did come up in the time we've been away from each other. I came up with a trio with our three bald heads.
Yeah, but we can't see your bald head. What good is it? If we had your picture.
Well, actually, I think what you have up is probably better.
And they should probably do that with me and McMullen too.
Yeah, that's
true. But what do you guys think of the ball Taraj?
There we go. I like it.
I like it. I like it. Yeah. Well, now all we got to do is get you up, and so we can see you, so it actually works for everybody.
You can tell you're around boxing and entourages. You can say
that. Yeah.
I like it.
We'll hold off on the boxing conversation with you. We haven't had you on since the draft took place, Joe. Most people giving rave reviews to Howie Roseman for what he did, moving around, the picks that he made, the future that he secured by getting a first-round pick next year from the Saints. How good do you think Howie Roseman's draft was?
I thought it was excellent. I thought going in, I was a huge proponent of them getting Jordan Davis. I had the pleasure of spending time with Jordan in Atlantic City during the Maxwell Club Awards dinner. And, I mean, guys, we all know the way of pro football, college football, high school football, where, I'm listed as 5'7" in the program, 140, when they actually may be 5'5", 130. I've never met a person who they actually lied about in the negative. Where I met Jordan, and I think he's listed at 6'5" or 6'6" or 6'7", and he actually looks far larger than anything he's listed.
Yeah.
Very affable young man, incredibly approachable. And I also got a chance to turn around and delve into his backstory. Here's a guy as a young man, as a sophomore in high school. He used to sneak into the bathroom to avoid weightlifting sessions. And he always used to stay in the same bathroom the same time. So, and obviously he was large then, so there was no way of escaping it. They always found him. And through some time and through some tough love, we can call it, he learned about work ethic. He learned about the demands that he'd be going through. And it's a reason why I also say that his best football, believe it or not, I believe is still way, way ahead of him.
Yeah, I agree, Joe. I mean, you look at the waves in that Georgia defense and the way they ran things. They had so many talented kids. They had to get them on the field, and they would, generally be winning games by a significant margin. So it was easy to rotate. And obviously, in the NFL, that's not going to be the case, and he's going to need to play a little bit more. But I agree with you. The first thing I noticed about Jordan, the Eagles listed him at 6'6", 341 officially. And he's one of those rare guys that you could say, wow, he could put on some weight. He doesn't even look, typically when you see a 340-pound man, and I put Jordan Mailata in this category as well, who's basically 380, and you say, he doesn't look big. He looks good for that weight, and Jordan Davis is in that same category. Now, he did lose a lot of weight for the combine. He showed off his athleticism. But as far as that part of it and what you garnered from Jordan as far as being able to work up to the NFL level of conditioning, do you get the sense that he understands that?
I do. Um, each level he's played at, and again, I can't stress this enough, that he's a late bloomer. I mean, he was someone that Georgia that no one really noticed, and he didn't start. He didn't start until his senior year of high school. I mean, a lot of these guys covering the high schools the way I do in this area, in the Philly area in South Jersey, is these young men today. You guys know they're picked up early. You know, you see a flash as a freshman or sophomore. You know, you're gonna get offers early. Jordan didn't get anything major until his senior year in high school. Um, I think for him, ideally, and I think he's even admitted, and I had the chance to speak to Chuck Smith, the former defensive end for the Falcons, who is Jordan's
Great pass
personal
rushing coach, by the way. Yeah, great pass rushing coach.
I think the ideal weight for him is 330. If he could play at 330, I think they're going to get the best Jordan Davis.
And we'll see if he gets that. He looked good in the shorts and T-shirts they ran around in this weekend. Much more important will be the Sunday afternoons. Davis was the biggest draft addition. A.J. Brown was certainly the biggest overall addition for the Eagles this year when they made their draft day trade. He comes in with 3 very good years under his belt with the Tennessee Titans and got a new contract extension going forward as well. And we know he's also got a very good relationship with the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. He and Jalen Hurts are boys. Here's my only concern with A.J. Brown. It's a great addition. He makes them a better football team. It shows that the Eagles are willing to commit cap resources to get a virtual star type player. Do you have any concerns, Joe, that the Eagles, a.k.a. Jalen Hurts, will try and force the ball to A.J. Brown? That because he is the big addition, because he got the contract extension, because he's tight with the quarterback, that the quarterback will work too hard to try and get the ball to A.J. Brown?
That's a great question. No, I think I got the impression this thing may come organically. I'd like to think it would. I'd like to think what they created last season was a run first, pass second team, which is almost the team that you could say came from the 1950s. But so you have something established already. I like to think with the array of receiving talent now around Jalen Hurts that he's not going to feel necessarily compelled to always go to A.J. Brown. I think A.J. Brown, they even have a chance to sometimes even use him as a decoy to set up some other things and maybe even develop some other players. So that's a possibility of how he can be used. We all spoke around this time last year, and I will say this, and I'll say this on the record to you guys. I had major doubts this team would even win 7 games last season. Nick Sirianni and the Eagles deserve a ton of credit, but with what they've added with Brown, with the drafts, with the draft picks and everything, this is now an 11, or I'll just say an expected to be an 11 or 12 win team. And I wrote this in Bleeding Green Nation a couple of weeks ago after the first day of the draft. Did the Eagles tonight win the NFC East? And I'm going to stick my little stubby bald head out there and say I think they're the team to beat the NFC East.
Really?
With these additions. Now, a lot of things are going to be very dependent, obviously, on Jalen Hurts. But what the pieces they have around him, you can't turn around and certainly make any excuses for Jalen Hurts right now.
Yeah, it's interesting, Joe. You bring that up, and I think you're not going to be the only one that takes that sort of look at the NFC East landscape. Dallas has kind of lost some significant pieces, come back to the pack a little bit. The Giants we talked about a little bit early, Jody and I, they look like they're in a complete rebuild, and the Washington Commanders are certainly not going to scare too many people. So I think you're not going to be the only one that expects the Eagles to take a significant leap forward. And that changes the expectations. It becomes a different model. It's different being the underdog and nobody expecting you to win. Now people are expecting you to win. How do you think that changes things for Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni?
I think it changes things quite drastically. I mean, again, this was a team that I think right now going into the season, in my opinion, I think they're 2 years ahead of the plan. This was a team that was, maybe in Sirianni's third year, they were going to make the playoffs. I think they got far more than they expected even. I don't think they'd come out and admit that. But in my strong opinion, I think they got far more than they expected or anticipated last season. And now this is a team that's capable. I'm not saying they're going to, but they're capable of going and advancing at least to the divisional round of the playoffs. This is a team that has gotten closer. I'm certainly not going to say they're ready to topple the defending Super Bowl champion Rams or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but that gap between them is certainly very close. And I think right now, certainly a lot of major questions still need to be answered. First and foremost, I believe that comes in the secondary. I don't think you guys would argue the point that I think you look at the NFC East, going down a brief check mark off the top of my, again, stubby bald head, is that they have, I think the Eagles have, I think we all agree the Eagles have the best offensive line in the NFC East, in the NFC East. I think right now with the addition of A.J. Brown now, they have the best receiving core in the, I'm sorry, I keep on saying that, the NFC East. They have the best offensive line in the NFC East. They have the best receiving core in the NFC East. They have the best defensive front in the NFC East. They have a decent, well, Washington, certainly Washington, I have to, there's a fight there. Arguably the best defensive line in the NFC East. They've certainly improved their linebacking core immeasurably with the additions. The big key now is what they can add to the secondary. But right now, this is a team that is ready to scratch at the NFC Championship surface, but it's a team that, at least in my opinion, can make the divisional round of the NFC playoffs.
Let's talk about those secondary needs that the Eagles have. They have not replaced Steven Nelson with someone from outside the organization as a starting cornerback. They've got about 12 cornerbacks in camp right now, undrafted, guys already there, none of which have proven anything in the National Football League yet. And they got Marcus Epps stepping into a more significant role. He played enough last year, filling in for injured players and in a rotational basis, that at least he's got some of an NFL resume in place. Have they not put enough attention on CB2 and strong safety 1 with this team during the offseason? Or do you believe what the Eagles seem to believe? No, they've got their answer already on the roster at those positions.
I don't think they have the answer, and I don't think they think they have the answer. Right now, again, on the surface, you say something. I go as far as this, and I think you guys may even agree with this. I don't even think they have the answer in Jalen Hurts. I think right now he's the best fit. He's the best at what we have right now, and we have to put a smile on our face to turn around and put that out there. But this is an Eagles team that went after every quarterback they could try to get their hands on. Okay, well, now that didn't work out for them. Now let's try to surround Jalen with what we have in terms of offense, in terms of defensively. There's guys there. I'm sure they're waiting for the Giants to cut their guy. Right now, the name escapes me of who the Giants may part ways with.
Bradbury.
I'm sorry?
James
Bradbury. Yeah.
Okay. And I don't know who's on the safety market now, but I got a feeling Howie Roseman's not done. I got a feeling Howie Roseman, and I'm give him a ton of credit. I mean, I think he deserves high grades for what I believe and what I've said and even what I wrote is the best draft that he's had. And he's smart enough to know, he can't go in and seriously compete. And I think these guys want to compete now. They think, there's certainly some pieces there together to make this push, to make this run. I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders, but I would certainly put them, among the top. I don't think it's a stretch to put them among the top 5 teams in the NFC right now. Maybe 4 or 5, but this is a team right now that's leaning in that direction of winning, and that is the last piece of the puzzle, and they know it. They know it. They have to know it.
Joe, last one from me. You've been doing some work with the NFL and the high school aspect of football in the prep area. and they recently put out as they do every year, their reports of all the players drafted, where they came from. Tiny Ellenwood, Georgia, wins the NFL draft. They got 3 kids drafted from Cedar Grove High School in Ellenwood, Georgia, more than IMG Academy, more than anything. But I want to talk to you locally. Obviously, Texas, it's usually Texas, Florida, California. This year was Texas, Georgia, California, Florida as the top 4. Pennsylvania and New Jersey both had 5 players, kids drafted. How do you think the high school football in the Philadelphia area and the Delaware Valley, where do you think it is as far as the traditional strength? You think it's up, it's down, it's typical? Where do you think it is?
I think it's the highest it's ever been.
Nice.
I think you're getting guys here. In the past, you'd get a rare gem. I had the pleasure of covering Kevin Jones. I had the pleasure of covering Marvin Harrison. Now you're getting 4 and 5 and 6 players of that caliber. I just got done doing something on Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Trott's son. He, as a true sophomore, St. Joe's Prep product, he's a true sophomore, will be Clemson's starting middle linebacker this season. You have Marvin Harrison Jr. at Ohio State and what he turned around and did in the Rose Bowl. Kyle McCord is the backup quarterback there at Ohio State. You're seeing incredible talent coming out of this area. And up until last year, you had 3 NFL head coaches that were from this area. Now Joe Judge has gone back to roost there with Bill Belichick in New England, but you still have 2 Philadelphia Catholic League graduates in Coach McDermott up in Buffalo and Kevin Stefanski in Cleveland that are, again, products of the Philadelphia Catholic League. This area has traditionally been a basketball area, and it still very much is. But in terms of the football talent that it's producing now, and what I know the other areas of the country, we're producing as high a grade of talent, better than most. I mean, and this is Southeast PA. This is how I'm excluding Pittsburgh. This is Southeast PA. What we're producing in this area is I got out of college in the late 80s. I've been doing this for a scary 30 years, and this is the best it's produced because we're producing again talent that, again, it's not just that 1 or 2 or 3 shiny gems. It's 4 and 5 and 6. Put it this way: when Nick Saban comes up and he's knocking on your door, which has been the last 4 or 5 years with the talent that's come out of this area, that says all you really need to know.
And oh, by the way, Marvin's kid this year coming out of Ohio State. Oh, we're going to be talking about him as a first-round draft pick because he's going to get a chance to catch the ball from C.J. Stroud, another guy we're going to be talking about a lot here in Philadelphia.
Hopefully, not that much.
We shall see. I'm hoping that Jalen just balls out this year. If not, there'll be a lot of C.J. Stroud conversation. Always a pleasure, JS. Thank you much, my friend. Sorry we couldn't see your, what do you call it, stubby? I would say attractive balding head. We'll try and get the what do you call the 3 bald amigos again?
The Baltourage.
The Baltourage.
The Baltourage, yes. And actually, you probably got a better picture of me right now than probably would be the appearance. But listen, if you guys don't mind, just a real quick parting remark on a very spectacular individual that we've all had the pleasure of knowing. And just a goodbye to Ray Didinger. I know there's very fresh news in terms of his retirement. This is a guy that you guys know is top of the mountaintop. And you guys also know there's a lot of people that are top of the mountaintop that don't have the personality that Ray has. We know a lot of people that are on top of the mountaintop that it's your pleasure to meet them. This is a man that helped me personally get in with the Maxwell Club, which has led to some other things. He took the time of day to deal with a pesky little run of a stub of a person to give me that time. And he's a very, very special person. Obviously, we know him as a Hall of Fame writer, but more importantly, Ray Didinger is a Hall of Fame person. And he's going to be very, very missed. And I think we all agree on that. I had to get that out.
Not a problem, Joe. And Ray, thank you. We thank you. I was going to hold off on mentioning Ray till the final segment of the show, but thank you for doing it earlier in the show, and thanks for coming on. Yeah, we need to see that stubby little bald head next time.
Okay, thank you, guys.
That's Joe
Thanks,
Santoliquito.
Joe.